So, welcome everyone. Hello, Cultivating Empathy on YouTube. My name is Jillian. I've been here a couple times before, and I'll be covering for Sean today. Um, some of you will see a title if you're joining us on LinkedIn. The title of this practice, I believe, is set as care and contentment. But I will be doing a practice on connecting with the earth. So if you're joining us from LinkedIn, I apologize for any confusion. I've included the name of this practice at the bottom of the screen. So I just wanted to mention that before we get started. If anyone would like to let me know where you're joining from, please send a post in the chat section or the comments section. I'd love to know where you're joining from. I am in Sweden at the moment, and this is the first time I've been able to do a live for one of these Thursday calls with natural light. So that's really nice to have the sun staying up later. And given that it was a spring equinox just a few days ago, I thought it would be nice to lead a practice that invites us to connect with the earth, with nature that we're all a part of. So let me just have a peek at where some of you are joining us from. We have Miriam from Algeria. Hello, Pawan. Cultivating Empathy is in Manitoba. Farah is in New York. Peter, also NY. Kimberly is from England. West Midlands. Ismail is from Ohio. Hello, on LinkedIn. Lena from Israel. We have Paramita is from United Kingdom. Julissa, NYC. Thomas in Berlin. Hortensia is in the Bronx, NYC. At noon. Where you are. Simon in the UK, Mariah, Texas, Mandy, South Africa, Marisol, Virginia, John, Redmond near Seattle, Sharon from the USA, LinkedIn user, I can't see your name, from the Ozarks, Robin from Mesa, Arizona, Hortensia, just saying hello to somebody else. Valentina from Argentina, Sonia from Mexico, Michelle, Arkansas, and Yolanda from the Netherlands. Hello. Arifa from Charlotte, North Carolina. We also have Elizabeth from Charlotte, North Carolina. We have New York State, Hartford, Seattle, India, Lebanon, Nepal, Ontario, Toronto, Yorkshire, New York, Texas, UK, North Carolina, Saudi Arabia, Cologne, India, Nevada, New Jersey, Tennessee. I think that's Massachusetts. Today is my birthday, says Bernadette. Happy birthday. And thank you for joining us. I hope this is a lovely start to your birthday day. Brian is from Florida. So we have people joining on LinkedIn, on YouTube. We may have some on Facebook as well. So again, for those of you on LinkedIn, you'll have a different title at the top. I think it was Care and Contentment or something. That was the original title for this session. But when I took over for Sean, I felt called to lead a session on connecting with the earth, given that for a lot of us it's spring, or some of us will be easing into winter. It doesn't matter. It's not necessarily about the season that we're entering into, but just to take this opportunity to connect with the earth and to sink into it and to perhaps feel some appreciation or interconnectedness. So that again is the intention for today's practice. New Jersey. Hortensia says, happy birthday, Bernadette. And Joanne in New Jersey. So welcome. Another happy birthday wish to Bernadette. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll get started. I'll start in just a moment. The practice might be 15 to 20 minutes or so. And then I would welcome you to stay if you'd like to afterwards, and you can share your experience of the practice, or you can ask any questions related to the practice, anything that you noticed that surprised you, that you really liked, that you felt confused about, or anything at all. If anything comes up for you during the practice, feel free to share it in the chat afterwards. And you can also ask any questions about this type of practice or mindfulness meditation in general. I'm happy to offer my thoughts for what they're worth. And hello to Anjali in Mumbai, India. Sorry. So let's just take a moment to settle in. You can be seated in a chair, on the floor, you can be lying down. Your posture for this practice is not super important so long as you're in a posture that allows you to be relaxed and at the same time alert. So if you're seated in a chair or on the floor, maybe settling into your sit bones. Maybe gently closing your eyes or lowering your gaze if you prefer. And just take a moment to check in with your body as you've arrived here. So if there's any adjustments that you need to make, anything you might need to shift for increased balance or comfort or presence, just making those adjustments now. And then gently drawing your attention towards the crown of your head. And slowly, at your own pace, you can begin to scan the body downwards. And just see if you can soften any areas of habitual contraction that can be comfortably released in this moment. So maybe the small muscles around your eyes, your forehead, softening your shoulders, maybe your belly and your hands. Just supporting yourself to settle in with a little bit more ease than when you first arrived here. And after you've moved through the entire body, just notice where your body is connected to the surface beneath you. So maybe noticing the points of contact between your feet and the floor, the backs of your thighs, maybe your shins if you're kneeling, your bottom, maybe even your entire backside if you're lying down. If you're in a chair, noticing the parts of your back that are supported by that chair. And however you are positioned, just sensing deeply into these points of contact. Feeling the stability and support of this space that holds you right now. Whatever is holding us is made of the earth. And so the earth is literally supporting us just as we sit here. The gravity that surrounds this planet supports us as well, anchoring us in this moment and in this life experience. And noticing if there's any sounds of the earth entering your ears, even if it's predominantly the sound of silence. Seeing if you can avoid or soften any judgments of any sounds, any labeling of any sounds. Just noticing the vibration of the sounds of the earth as they move through you. And then shift your attention towards your breath. Letting your attention land on any part of your body that the breath passes through. Any place that feels grounding or comfortable for you. So maybe noticing the air as it enters and exits your nostrils. As it fills and departs your lungs. Or even as it creates a rise and fall in your belly. Just noticing the breath exactly as it is right now. Knowing that you don't need to change it or force it to be any other way. But that it flows in accordance with some divine wisdom that moves through all of us. And then I invite you to consider how each and every breath connects you to what we call the earth outside of us, to the world all around us. As you breathe in, you receive fresh oxygen from the plants. And as you exhale, you offer back carbon dioxide, which supports the growth of plant life on this earth. And so, with each and every breath, you are engaging in a dance with the earth, with life itself. You are innately a part of the earth. You are innately a part of this interconnection between all life on this planet. So just take a moment to sink into this effortless connection you have with the earth. considering words of Vandana Shiva, who said something like, "You are not Atlas carrying the world on your shoulders. It is good to remember that the planet is carrying you." So maybe letting your shoulders drop, letting mind and body soften as you sink into this inherent connection you have with the earth. And before we close this practice, maybe taking a moment to set an intention to give and receive with the earth in equal measure in the actions, in your everyday actions. So giving back to the earth just as much as she gives to us. And then taking a moment, either with your hands resting as they are, or resting on your heart, or maybe in prayer position, bowing your head gently towards the earth, and taking a moment to silently offer your gratitude for the earth. And then taking just a couple more long, mindful breaths here. And slowly opening your eyes whenever you're ready. So thank you to everyone who was here to practice with me. I would love to know how that was for you. So you can just type into the comment section and I'll read through those as they come in. Um, but this type of practice for me is one that is always very grounding and humbling. Um, that brings us back to just the gift of this earth and of everything that we enjoy on this earth, from this sweater on my body to the walls around me to everything I can see out my window, everything that I consume, food and drink today. Everything comes from the earth, and um, it's just a beautiful practice to take time to honor that connection just through our awareness and then to offer gratitude. So I'm just going to have a read through some of the comments here. Jolanda had to leave. It's dinner time, but she'll follow later on. Kima said, what an amazing, calm meditation. If all the world leaders do this meditation at least once a day in the morning and before their bedtime, I guarantee such a success and happiness to their lives and world peace for sure. Absolutely. I was talking to someone, a couple of people just the other day about actually compassion practice, and we just did a short 5-minute self-compassion practice and extended that out to others. And, what came up for us was this recognition that, it's not something that that requires work to cultivate. It's more about just remembering our capacity for compassion. And in the same way, I think a practice like this is about just remembering our inherent connection to all of life, to the earth, for its blessings, for everything that it offers to us, recognizing this inherent interconnection, even just through the breath. Um, Everything in this world is energy, and so we are part of this cosmic dance. Us and the bees and the butterflies and the trees and the water. And so I agree with you, Kima, that if our world leaders, if all sorts of leaders, if everybody in this world was able to take time each morning and each night as well would be beautiful, just to remember, just to tune in to that connection with the earth, I think we would have a very different landscape. Um, I think we naturally all have this reverence for the earth, whether we're conscious of it or not, whether it's, hidden deep down within us, yet to be activated. I think the earth is such a mysterious and beautiful and awe-inspiring place. And if we just took that time to practice something like this, to reconnect, I think it would have a huge impact on the way we engage with the world and with others. So, yeah, I completely agree. Thank you for sharing that, Kima. Hortensia, this was amazing. Thank you for sharing this space. Namaste. Yes, namaste to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you, Marianne. Thank you, Kima. LinkedIn user, I can't see your name. We're on my screen, but thank you as well. I'm glad you feel relaxed. Lewis, thank you. Kima, all wise and smart women leaders can feel the power of connection with our Mama Earth. Thank you so much. yeah, there's definitely this deep and profound connection if we just take the time to tune in. I think most of us have had those moments of just being somewhere in nature where we feel completely at peace, completely connected, completely in awe with life itself. Um, Even looking up at the stars, that is always an experience that quiets my mind. It just softens um, all of the ruminating, all of the drama, all of the stories, and it just brings me back to the beauty and blessing and mystery of existence. And I feel the same very often when I'm out in the forest. It just provides this, you come into contact with spirit or with something that is greater than ourselves and our own lives. So yeah. Shama, wow, Jillian, that was amazing. I feel so calm. The gratitude to Mother Nature was so heartfelt. Beautiful. Yeah, I think often we don't have to, say too many words. It's something that we can just tune into, this deep appreciation um, for nature, for whatever seasons we're in. The moment I'm coming into spring, and I'm very appreciative of it. Darkness and winter and the cold has its gifts as well. But when spring comes and you see life coming back, it's, for me, anyways, at this time of my life, in this moment, I can feel my own energy rising with spring, and I'm very grateful for that. Anjali, grounding, humbling, feeling connection with earth element within and outside. Yeah, definitely. The earth and all of its elements. So, earth, fire, water, air, space or ether. These are all within us just as much as they are around us. And I think the elements have so much to teach us. And when we think about the earth, we often think of the earth element, when, of course, the earth is comprised of many elements, but it's natural to connect to that grounding, stable, supportive, nurturing, that very deeply nurturing energy of the earth, where seeds are born, where plant life and animals roam, and humans find shelter. There's something very grounding and immediate about the earth element within the earth itself. So I'm glad you felt that connection around you as well as inside you. It's often we can see something outside, or connect with something outside of us, and then it's a reflection of what we have within as well. So it's really nice to make that connection. Bernadette, connected and grateful for the earth, at peace, beautiful. What a lovely way to start your birthday. Very happy to hear that. Rasu said, reflects this practice to walking meditation. Absolutely. Yeah, there's another quote that came to mind. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, walk as if you were kissing the earth with your feet. And I think when we practice walking meditation and we bring that intention, we bring that energy to every single step, it is as if we are literally kissing the earth with our feet. It is that tenderness, it is that reverence, it is that intimacy with the earth. So just as we can connect, through this practice, through whatever we're seated on or lying on, through the breath, we can feel that deep connection, that rootedness, that stability, that strength of the earth with each and every step. And so walking meditation absolutely is a beautiful practice to do this as well. And you can also do a walking meditation a less traditional walking meditation where you're aware of the earth beneath your feet, but it's a bit more of an open awareness practice. So you could walk through the forest or through a park or along a beach and have all of your senses open to the earth around you. So the sights, the textures, the life forms, the aromas, the smells, and connect with the earth that way through all of your senses. So that's another option as well for connecting with the earth while walking. Kima, have a beautiful day as well. Julissa, thank you. That was very relaxing. I'm very glad. Yeah, the original title of this meditation, which I think is still on LinkedIn, is Calm and Contentment. And so inadvertently, I think this practice for many people served that. LV, thanks for more energy and calm. Beautiful. Cultivating empathy says gratitude. The planet we are living on has given us all the elements that make up our bodies. The water in our flesh, our bones, and all the microscopic cells inside our bodies all come from the earth. Absolutely. So often if we've grown up, as I think most of us have in our modern day cultures, if we've grown up without having been taught how connected we are to the earth, how we are actually as much of the earth as anything that we perceive outside of us, then we forget. We naturally forget that our bodies, everything about us, every cell is made up of the earth. And again, those elements, water is flowing through us, and carbon is the backbone of who we are, of our physical body. Air, of course, space. There's so much space between our cells, space within our bodies, space all around us. And so, absolutely, everything we see outside, that is in one way or another reflected back in us. That is present in us in some other shape and form. We can look at a tree and it looks so different, but fundamentally, we are made up of the same core energy and the same elements, just wired together with a different type of consciousness. So it's a beautiful practice to just come back to that connection, and quite humbling. I think it really helps to soften the ego mind, the sense of I, and again, soften the stories, the drama, and just come back to the experience of being on this planet with everything else that exists around us. Thank you for sharing that, cultivating empathy. Kima, remembering our capacity. You nailed it so beautiful. Thank you for so profound wisdom to share. God bless you and everyone in this networked live stream. I need to go out for my day, but thank you all so much and have a great day. Everyone is true leaders within our heart and spirit. We just need to remember how to ask humbly to our own inner teachers and leaders. Thank you so much, Kima. It's so lovely to have you here, and thank you for all of your comments. Again, coming back to this remembrance, I think this is our natural state of being. This is where we feel in alignment with the world. This is where we feel peace with all that is. This is where at least it's one way of coming into contact with the mystery and gift and beauty of existence. It's obviously not the only type of practice, but at least for me, speaking for myself, the natural environment has always been a place where I connect with something beyond myself, naturally, very instantaneously. So I hope it was supportive for a lot of you as well. Koala says, great time, thank you. Cultivating empathy. Empathic reflection is one way to listen. Thanks for sharing your spring energy. Absolutely. Yeah, just taking the time to listen. We're so busy doing. There's so many distractions, but just taking the time to stop and to tune into our connection. It's not complicated. We're not searching for anything. It's just about recognizing what is already here. Looking at everything outside of us as a reflection of ourselves, as made up of the same fundamental building blocks that we are. One of my favorite practices is not a formal meditation practice, but just going into nature, sitting, listening, and I usually have a journal with me, and once in a while a poem comes out of it, or a sentence, or a full journal post, an insight, but just going and listening. So often we don't give ourselves the space to listen, but when we do, I think we're often surprised by what insight or what deeper spiritual recognitions come out of that silence, out of that space we've given ourselves to listen. Emmer says spring is such a hopeful time. Absolutely. The other day, I think they're called snowdrops. Someone in the mindfulness exercises community referred to them as these little white flowers that pop up in early spring. And they came up through a blanket of leaves from last autumn. And there was something that felt so hopeful for me about that. Life finds a way to come through what has passed or moved on, or no longer serves us. Life finds a way to come through, and change is inevitable. We see that in the seasons. The seasons are such a reminder of the fact that everything is a phase and everything ebbs and flows. And yes, for me, especially this spring, seeing the new flowers and the spring buds come out has been really, really restorative for my heart and soul. So thank you for sharing that, Emmer. Mother Earth and Grandmother Moon, so healing. Yes, absolutely. Kimberly says, I did the meditation in my plant repotting and connected to plant life. Beautiful. Yeah. If we could all just, plant a seed, or tend to the plants that we already have, give a word of gratitude to the tree outside of our home, whatever it is, will really help that reconnection. This is something we can do with our eyes closed in meditation, but hopefully there are different ways that we can go out and either and express this gratitude directly to the earth, to some aspect of our natural environment, or through some type of action. So maybe planting a seed or a flower, cleaning up some trash, whatever it is, whatever feels like the right thing to do in your community, whatever the earth there feels like it might need. Penny J said, astrologically, this is a perfect day for grounding and meditation. So you are right on. Beautiful. I'm glad to hear that. I know a little bit about astrology, but I don't follow it too much. But I'm glad to hear that it resonated. Hello, Tira. Nice to see you. I'm not sure if you made the meditation, but for anybody who is curious, this will be posted on YouTube afterwards, and I believe LinkedIn and Facebook as well. So you can definitely at least find it on YouTube if you want to come back to it at another time. Penny J says, let us all get barefoot and put our feet or body on the earth today and send gathering peace. Absolutely. That's a beautiful idea. And I think I will go outside after this and connect directly with the earth in that way. That's absolutely beautiful. Before I get to the last comment, and feel free to add more comments in there as well, I just wanted to share. It was maybe 3 months ago or something, and I can't remember the details of what it was that was happening in my life. But I was in this place where it just, the weight of the world, everything felt like so much, and I was sort of at my wit's end. I felt despair, I felt grief, I felt anger, I felt a lot of things. I was going through a lot of things, and I took the dogs out for their morning pee, and it was dark out, as it stays dark here in the winter, quite late into the day in the winter. And I let the dogs back in, and I just had this deep call to just rest my back on the earth. And it was winter, it was cold, but I, had my jacket on, and I just laid on the earth, and I felt like I wanted to pray, but I didn't have the words. And I can't remember the exact prayer that came to me, but the sense was just, just hold me, just earth, please hold me, just support me. And I just laid there for a few minutes, and it completely reset my system. I wasn't, super joyous after that, but I felt calm, I felt grounded, I felt supported despite whatever was going on in my life at that moment. So that's one thing I can recommend if you're ever feeling, if the world ever feels heavy. Again, that Vandana Shiva quote that I shared, it's good to remember that the earth is carrying you. So maybe just letting your body rest on the earth, just feeling your connection to the earth through your body. At least that's helpful for me. Tira, yes, you missed it. Watch replay. Beautiful. Thank you. I see your other comment. Thank you, Tira. Shama says, my guru has always said, true happiness is not outside of us, but within each and every one of us. True happiness is within all of us. Materialistic happiness is only temporary. Inner happiness is forever. God bless you. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Shama. Yeah. If we find happiness, or if we find what feels to be happiness through something outside of ourselves, we can know that it's not that thing that brings us the happiness, because typically it's not constant. For instance, if we get a new car and we feel such joy in the new car, that new car one day will not have the ability to make us feel that joy or that happiness. So really, that joy or that happiness is something that is actually arising from within. So it's really a lovely reminder and something to remember, that happiness is, the capacity for it is within us, and it can't be given to us from someone or something or some circumstance outside of us. Thank you for sharing that. Ashley says, on what YouTube page? When I hop off this, I will, in the LinkedIn comments, I'll share the YouTube page, but Mindfulness Exercises has a YouTube page. Let me see if I can. So it's Mindfulness Exercises Free is the, comes in the URL. But I will post it in the comment section in the LinkedIn chat for you after I jump off this. And so this is, in addition to LinkedIn, these always stream on YouTube. And there's a lot of other videos and content shared on the YouTube page. So I'm sure you'll find some things there. And Tira, the world feels heavy to me right now. We'll take that advice. Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. As much as, I say that spring for me this season feels like hopeful and it feels restorative. Our experience of the world, our emotions, our perception of things are constantly changing. So, you can wake up one day and feel like things are going to be okay. And you just have this sense of peace and trust and lightness, and then minutes or hours or a day later that you experience something different. So um, yeah, I completely understand the world feeling heavy right now. That comes to me as well. So take care of yourself. And I'm so glad you all came here to practice today and to connect. I think also one other thing that is really helpful through these times, and at all times, whether the world is heavy or not, is community and being connected to other people. And, as much as it would be great if we could all connect and meditate in person, this is a lovely alternative, because so often we meditate by ourselves, which is beautiful and wonderful and fine in and of itself. But when we can share this experience and know that somebody, well, numerous people all over the world are moving through the same practice with us, that can be another a source of support and grounding, just the way that the earth we can hold each other. Yeah, the seasons of our life. Thank you, Tyra. I think it's Tyra. I'm sorry. I think I keep saying Tira, but I am now remembering. I think it's Tyra. My apologies. Yeah, just being on this live stream has lifted my spirit. Beautiful. Wonderful. Yes, Tyra. Thank you. All right. Well, I think we can wrap up unless there's any other comments or questions. Sean will be here next Thursday, I believe. I've not heard otherwise. So you can connect with him then, the same time, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Starts at 5 p.m. here in Sweden. But yeah, it was lovely to connect with you. I'm glad. I think this practice resonated with a lot of people here, and that warms my heart, makes me very happy. So thank you all for practicing, for sharing, for listening to one another. Sorry. Once again, happy birthday, Bernadette. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. And yeah, perhaps I'll connect again with you all soon. So take care today and feel into that connection with the earth. It's always with us. So, thank you.